that's pretty grim and is in general reflective of the measurements that we've been taking up and down the Sierra over the past week or so, as well as also being reflected in the telemetered measurements that come in each hour. We're kind of hovering right now with nudging up against the lowest snowpack on record, and depending upon what part of the state you're in, that was either for March measurements was either in 1991 is the most recent time when we've had a snowpack this low, and then you go back to 1977, that ended up on April 1st with overall the lowest snowpack on record, and the measurements are, as I say, are down in that range. So clearly no good news in terms of any runoff into the reservoirs is going to be pretty minimal. Well, we went through the 87 through 91 drought. Now in many cases that was the snowpack was better than it is now, but as I say, in 91 for March readings were very comparable. Now in 91 we had a very good March, but it doesn't seem as though that's going to happen this year. I mean, we're just not going to get significant storm activity to bring us out of the drought. That's not going to happen. And the best we can hope for is some storm activity to at least give us a little bit of an increase in runoff from what we're seeing with this extremely shallow snowpack that we've got right now. And unfortunately, because of the very dry conditions that have led up to this survey, a lot of the snowpack is going to soak into the soil. It's not going to show up as runoff. And so the the increase in reservoir levels is going to be fairly insignificant. I mean, we look at the hourly measurements, they're coming in as I say every day. It's surprising there's any snow here at all, to be honest. A week ago, this was bare ground. Most of the snow we see around us came down probably in the last 36 hours or so. I mean, we're pretty much sharing the misery statewide. There's really no part of it, unlike some other years where there's quite a dramatic either regional pattern. It's low throughout the state. We just simply haven't had the storms come through. Right now, it's just what we've got basically what we have on the ground right now is probably what we're going to be dealing with. So it's going to be extremely important, I think, for people to be very cognizant of what their local agency is telling them in terms of conservation and everything else.